I am so excited. Megan McCann here. I am thrilled to have this amazing lady on with us today. And I'm super excited because this is the first interview of our Soul Success Summit interview series. If you haven't heard yet, Elisa and I have an amazing retreat scheduled in Santa Barbara. We actually have two events because there's been such an overwhelming response. And Elisa and I have been interviewing women for months and months and months. And we have hand selected some of the most amazing, incredible women from all over the world. And today I have with us speaker, best-selling author. She's a mother, right? Are you a mother?
I'm
A mother. I want to make sure I got that one right. I know you do many things as a female entrepreneur. You wear multiple hats. So I am so excited to have you here. Anza Goodbar. Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here today.
And I think, Anza, the biggest thing, and I know you got a chance within the interview process to meet a lot of the other women. And, it's so cool because, we're all aligned, and I feel like there's a synergy being a soulful and a successful female entrepreneur, and we can all relate to each other. Yet at the same time, we all have very unique stories and gifts that we have to share with the world. So, Anza, I'd love for you to just kind of start off and tell us a little bit about, what you do and where you live and all that good stuff. So awesome. Go ahead, sister.
Yay, I'm so excited. So again, just my name is Anza Goodbar. I am a coach, speaker, and trainer in the Denver metro area. I am the mother of 4 grown children, and I have one adorable 5-year-old granddaughter that I have the pleasure of helping to raise. And so having been a single mom, this is kind of like a do-over where I get to enjoy and be a part of all the things I missed out on because I was working. And she is just a big joy in my life, and she helps inspire me and helps me want to be a better person. Part of my backstory is I was a teenage mom. I got pregnant when I was 16. I got married, had my first child at 17. And, the picture that was painted for me was really quite bleak. It was like, you're going to live on welfare. You're going to be poor. You're never going to amount to anything. This one choice you made in your life has thrown away all of your potential. And, everybody pretty much wrote me off, except for one high school teacher. Her name was Dana Howie. And she said to me, honey, you can figure this out. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. I know you can do it if that's what you really desire. And she said, you're going to live an unconventional life. You're probably going to live your life a little bit backwards. You probably won't go to college when your friends go to college. But if you want to go to college, you still can. And at 38, I went to college. And I graduated from college with a 4.0 GPA.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. And it was so cool to have my kids in the audience screaming, that's my mom.
Oh,
I did it. And, it took me a long time to get there, but it was something that was really important to me. And that was part of my journey in overcoming that negative self-talk. I'm never going to be anything. I'm always going to be poor. I don't deserve the same opportunities that other people deserve. And it took me a very long time to work through that, to feel like I was just as capable and just as worthy as anybody else. I made one wrong choice as a teen. And I promise you, it really only takes once to get pregnant. And, that one thing can change the trajectory of your life forever if you choose to do that. And so in my business, the thing that gets me really excited is working with women who need to really believe in themselves. I had a virtual assistant business for 12 years, and I worked primarily with business owners who needed help getting systems put in place. They were new to being an entrepreneur, and I worked with people to help set up business systems, create strategies. And what I really learned is you can have all the right products, you can have all the right systems, all the right strategies, all the right automations. But if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe that you're worthy of having success on whatever level, personal life or business, you're going to hold yourself back. Your negative self-talk is going to override all of the other pieces of the puzzle. And so I really like to work with people to help them transform their lives. And like I told you earlier, I like to help them gain transformation and empowerment from the boardroom to the bedroom. And there's a big spectrum of things in between. But, as women, if we can't ask for what we want in the boardroom, we're not going to be able to ask for what we want in the bedroom either. And, for women in my age group, we weren't taught to be able to speak up for what we wanted, especially in the bedroom part of our lives. And so if we can create a wholehearted life by being able to stand up for ourselves because we believe that we're deserving. We practice self-love, self-gratitude. We have a positive self-image. We show up so much bigger in our life and in our business. And we raise up daughters and sons who can do the same thing. And so it really has that ripple effect in our family and then onto our community. I think it's really a powerful
yes.
thing.
Yeah, no, that's a powerful concept. And so I'd like to take a step back here because you shared a lot within the last 5 minutes, and your story of how you began and, getting pregnant as a teenager and being told that you would have to fit into a certain box.
Right.
And that you had to be this and you had to be A and you couldn't be B.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that a lot of us can relate to, us being told something at a certain age and then all of a sudden living our life according to that, fitting it within that box, right?
Right.
So what can you say to someone who feels like they've been tied down by their quote unquote reality,
Mm-hmm.
and they want more, but they're afraid to expand outside of that box that's really just been confining them their
Right.
entire life? What would you say to somebody like that?
Right. So I would say, first of all, that what we believe to be true about ourselves is what we're going to manifest in our life.
Mm-hmm.
The way our subconscious mind works is it doesn't attribute positive or negative to any of our thoughts or beliefs. It just is. But
Mm-hmm.
our subconscious mind's job is to make whatever our belief is true. So, for instance, if I believe that I'm always going to be fat, my brain is going to help me make decisions that are going to be contrary to eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, exercising and working out. And so I'm going to perpetuate this loop, and I'm going to constantly be frustrated. So until I can go in and I can look at what that belief system is and be able to change that with new self-talk, that isn't going to, I'm never going to create any kind of lasting change. It's the same way in our business. For instance, one of my clients believed from a conversation that she had with her mother when she was like 5 or 6, that she was always going to be poor and she was always going to struggle because that was their family history. Mm-hmm. And so her mother really squashed her dreams of, just being able to pay her bills in a comfortable way. She didn't even have a dream of, living this extravagant life. She just didn't want to struggle from paycheck to paycheck. And so when she started her own business, she wasn't able to charge what she felt she was worth. And so she struggled and she was having a very hard time growing her business. We were able to go in and look at and figure out where that belief came from, structure a plan to go back and confront that fear that she had. She ended up going out back and having an amazing conversation with her mom. And today she has raised her rates like 6 times.
Yes.
Past year, because now she sees the value that she has in herself. She feels confident to go to her clients and say, hey, this work that you're asking me for is worth this much money. And if they don't want to pay it, she doesn't have that fear of walking away because she knows that there are clients out there who are willing to pay for her value. And so, you know, a lot of it is being able to go back and have that inner work. And with all of my clients, it's all about journaling. Journaling is such a powerful cathartic tool. And so many people think it's like what we did when we were in high school, you know, Dear Diary.
Yeah.
I saw him in the lunchroom today and he was so cute. I hope he knows.
Oh, believe it, I still have those hidden in my garage. I could not throw those away. Mhm.
About why isn't it working? What doesn't feel right about this? What, you know, is leading into the outcome that you keep getting? What can you do to change that? And, you know, conversely, look at what is working in your life and see what that contrast is. And then you can start recreating your story, if you will. And, you know, we all have a judgmental voice. Each and every one of us do. It's been around since the beginning of time. And in the very beginning, that judgmental voice was there to protect us. You know, oh, don't stand on the cliff, you might fall over. Oh, don't touch the fire, it's hot, you'll get burned. Well, that voice still says, oh, don't be visible, you're not worthy. Oh, don't speak up. You don't know as much as you think you do. You don't have that degree that so-and-so has. And so really we have to be able to call out the lies that we hear. Wait a minute, I am worthy. I don't have a college degree, but I have 10 years of real life experience that's probably more valuable than a college degree in some instances. You know, oh wait, I do have that expertise because I lived through this event. And you know, I often will equate it to a woman having a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage of my fourth child. It was a horrific experience, and I thought, what good will ever come of this? Several years later, one of my best friends had a miscarriage. And, you know, other women tried to comfort her. And it was like, you don't understand how I feel. You don't get it. Mm-hmm. I was the person, because I had gone through it. And while every miscarriage experience is different, that feeling of total loss, that hole in your heart that you can't wrap your head around, was something that was a common bond. And I was the only one who was uniquely qualified to be able to listen to her, to comfort her, you know, to have walked a similar path, maybe not in her shoes, but in a similar path. And so we're all uniquely gifted and we're all uniquely qualified to do the work that we have planted in our heart, whatever that passion is. We have been fully resourced to be able to do that. But we have to be able to get out of our way. There's a really good book called Emotional Positive Intelligence. And
I've read it.
It is a game changer.
Yes.
In being able to help you reprogram your mind and your thought processes, and really recognizing when that's happening. And again, tying that back to journaling. You know, when I get stuck, what's that voice in my head saying? How can I turn that around? You know?
Right. Well, and it almost becomes addictive too. You know, when we start thinking negative thoughts, they start feeding off of each other and they begin to create further momentum. And I just know, you know, if I start my day and my kids are hitting me in the face and I'm tired and I'm annoyed and I start saying that to myself and then they're screaming at me, then everything else just seems really shitty, right? You start thinking more negative thoughts. So I think a lot of that really does start with, and don't you agree, awareness is, you know, it's not so much, you know, only thinking positive thoughts all the time, because hello, we're human, right?
Right.
And we don't want to fake it all the time.
Right.
But yet that awareness of where is the ball rolling, and is it down that negative talk pattern, or are you ready to stop the ball from rolling and to create a new pathway for yourself? So
exactly. You know, and there are a boatload of strategies that you can do to shift your energy when you have that awareness. You know, And it's just like a diet, if you're trying
Yeah.
to sugar free or carb free or whatever, if you blow it, it doesn't mean that you're going to eat that way the rest of your life. With your very next meal, you can make a brand new choice. And it's the same thing with our mindset. We can choose to stop the pattern and replace it with something else. Some people really like to do affirmations, and that really works for them. So when they have that negative thought, they'll replace it with that positive affirmation. Some people like to dance it out, put on some music, get that energy flowing, and it will change your mindset. Some people like to use breathing techniques, which I love that one too, because you can just dance it out depending where you're at. But you can take some time to breathe and refocus. And so, again, journaling about it, finding out, why do I always go back to that thought? Where did that thought originate?
Right.
And be able to go back and trace it. And, and I'll share a story in my life. I struggled for a very long time with self-image. And body image especially. It was really hard for me. I was always a chubby girl. And one of the messages that my dad gave me, bless his heart, was, you would be beautiful if you could just lose 10 pounds. I remember one school year, I would eat one yogurt a day, and I would eat one piece of toast with peanut butter in it. That's what I lived on for a whole year, because I wanted to be beautiful. And if I could just lose 10 pounds, and I was like a size 7. I wasn't, obese as a child, but I attributed a lot of my body image to that conversation.
Right.
I also experienced some sexual abuse while I was young, and that whole idea of beauty married with the idea of sexual abuse, I believed if I was fat, I would be safe. So as I got older, and when I ran into inappropriate experiences, I would put on massive amounts of weight as protection for me. And it took me a lot of years to come to the realization of, where did that messaging come from and how could I change that? And coming to the realization that sexual abuse isn't about sexual attraction, it's about power. And therefore, the lie that I was believing is, if I was fat, I would be undesirable and I would be safe, when in all actuality, it had nothing at all to do with that.
Right.
Once I was able to make that connection, I was then able to change my thought process, which changed my actions, which gave me different outcomes. And so it's, looking at that root problem, journaling about it is so powerful, because we don't always realize it in a verbal state, in a cognitive state. There's
Right.
something very therapeutic about writing it out and rereading what your words are. You'll be amazed at the benefits that come out of that.
Awesome. So beautiful. I feel like you have so much to give to us in Santa Barbara this March. And before we close out, I'd love to get a little bit more context as to, how you work with people. You're a best-selling author, so I'd love to hear more about your book. So first of all, I'd love to hear for you to share, who is your ideal client? What type of people can you help, and in what capacity?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, I work with people through private coaching, group coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I also do workshops, and next year I'm starting some retreats, which I'm super excited about.
Yes.
And so my ideal client is typically women, but I'm really moving into working with couples as well.
Okay.
Who are really committed to making transformation in their life. They're ready to make different choices. They're ready to go on a journey of self-discovery, to say, hey, there are things that aren't working in my life. That doesn't mean that's bad. It just is what it is. I want a different outcome. Therefore, I need to make some different choices. And to be able to work with people to create deeper, more intimate relationships in life and in business, to be able to get out of their way, to stand up, to say what they want and be able to go after it. For women who have shame in their past, body image, maybe sexual abuse, maybe they're divorced. There are a lot of things that happen in our life that cause us to carry shame. And if they're ready to relinquish that shame, those are the kinds of people that I love to work with. And then, as I said earlier, I work on empowerment from the boardroom to the bedroom. Starting next year, I'm going to be doing some couples retreats to help people increase their intimacy in the bedroom, to be able to have those conversations without awkwardness, without embarrassment, without shame, to be able to create that wholehearted life that everybody is really after, and to be as happy at one spectrum as they are in the other. And then I also speak mostly to women's groups. That seems to be my little thing. But yeah. And then I have a book coming out in November 15th, where I share my story of healing from sexual abuse. So
Awesome.
I know. I
you.
know. There's a lot. And then I have a second book project. I don't have a release date that will be coming out probably early next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Anza. You are a pleasure. And I just cannot wait to hear more about you. I can't wait to hug you in person.
I know.
In March. You are just so adorable. I just want to squeeze you. So if you would like to follow Anza and myself to Santa Barbara in March, she will be speaking at the Soul Success Summit, located at the beautiful Narrative Loft. We held it there last year. Have you been to Santa Barbara before, Anza?
I have not, and I can't wait. I've seen pictures of the venue, and it's so wonderful. Yeah. I can't.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's just steps from the beach. We're going to be incorporating yoga, meditation, connections, healthy food, and it really is the perfect blend of what we call the feminine side of your business, which is the self-love, the self-care, the relationships, with the masculine side, which is the, how to make more money, how to leverage your time, how to be a powerhouse entrepreneur. So if you'd like to grab your tickets, you can visit thesoulsuccesssummit.com, and I'll pop it in the comments after we record. And when you enter the code Anza Goodbar, which ANZAGOODBAR, all lowercase, you get $100 off. So if you have any questions at all, please pop it in the comments. Otherwise, Anza, I will see you in March. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions for Anza, pop it in the comments, and maybe you can post your website as well so people know where to find you.
Perfect. I will. Thank you so much. I can't.
All right. Have a great day, you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.